Good morning and welcome to Mindset Monday. I'm Shelley Butler.
Well, I'm Yves Doucet.
Yes, you are
Still today,
still today,
every day.
every day,
I do it
the best
better.
of the morning,
But I
the
do change
best
though.
of Yves Doucet
But I change every day.
every day.
It's the same name, but
I think
different
you have to
person.
change
I think
every
so.
day. Yeah. Sometimes he's Yves Doucet.
I do. I'll show up as whatever you want me to do. Want me to clean the toilet? I'll
Absolutely.
do that today.
Oh,
That's what I do.
so good. I absolutely love. We are streaming, yes. I
Oh,
absolutely love
I hope so.
the changes that you make every day.
Every day.
I love that you focus on that growth. That's absolutely amazing. So at Dovaco, we are always focused on growth, and we have decided to bring you some real
Mm.
life scenarios, some real world scenarios from the real Veronica. And so today we have a new one, and we were just going to listen in. Eve and I are going to make our funny faces as we listen in, and together we are going to narrate how we believe that a company can handle this type of situation perhaps just a little bit better than this leader
All right, I'm
handled it.
excited to hear Veronica.
Let's go, Estelle, producer extraordinaire.
Hey Denise, sorry. My doctor's office called and said they can fit me in tomorrow morning for the results of a blood test that I did last week, and they said it's really urgent that they need to see me. So, would it be okay if I came in a little bit late tomorrow morning? No, I wouldn't be able to let you come in late. I'm so sorry. Okay, so can I just submit it as like sick time or PTO? I mean, per policy, you have to submit your PTO 2 weeks in advance, so that wouldn't be an option for tomorrow. Understood. Hey Veronica, we're in need of some overtime. So, I hope I can count on you to stay. No, I'm good. Thank you. What? You said no? I did say no. I needed some overtime last week because I was going through a really difficult situation and you said no. So, I am returning the favor. I mean, I hope you understand that that was just a business decision, that I just couldn't approve it at that time, but I can approve it now. You can approve it now that you need it. But it should be like one hand washes the other, you know? Like you look out for me, I look out for you. Today, I'm not looking out for you because when I needed you to look out for me last week, it just didn't happen. So, nope, I'm good.
So,
She's definitely not good.
oh,
Nor will she ever be good again unless they have a big discussion on that.
um,
Little tit for tat.
like the stress, like I'm just looking at Veronica saying no, right? The tit for tat. Like, so there's no doubt in my mind that every action has a reaction. It's Newton's physics. Like we are humans. We live
Hmm.
in this Newton world of physics that you do something, something happens, right?
Yeah.
So if you treat it one way, you're gonna get the same treatment another way, right? However, what I understand more today, I think, than ever before, is that what happens is saying no to a boss, like saying no to a boss, and we've had
Hmm.
that experience, right? Saying no to a boss is difficult. It's hard.
It's almost impossible
It's
for
almost
most.
impossible.
Yeah.
So what happens to Veronica inside of that? Like I think most people will have that reaction. Well, you weren't there for me. I'm not going to be there for you. But saying no is so difficult for the employee, for the person that's saying, well, you mistreated me. Now I have to say no. But they have that reaction inside anyway, and that's going to make them even sicker,
Absolutely.
right?
Mistreating somebody,
Yeah.
being mistreated, and then mistreating somebody back is never going to make you feel better. You think revenge is going to be the utmost, right? Get you. You're never walking away from that feeling like you scored one ever.
Every time
You
so
may believe, you may make yourself believe that it's a win, but it's never a win.
No, so that's the thing I think we have to understand as humans is like if you are not kind to a person, they will return that unkindness.
They
And
will. So what could the employee have done there?
well, I think in a way saying no is okay,
What could the
right?
employee have done, right? So I have a Eve, I have an appointment, and I'm getting some results of this blood test.
Okay, well, the first thing is saying no is perfectly fine, and for me, I'm going for me,
For the leader to say no to that, you
no,
can't
no,
go
no,
to your
no, no,
doctor.
no.
Okay, so
I'm
let's
talking
start
about
with
Veronica. So for her to say, okay, I accept the boss's like direction, and then when I'm asked to do overtime, I say no, I don't want to do that. That's perfectly fine, and we should be okay with doing that. It's better to do that than for the employee than to keep it inside of them and be in angst and be in like anger for the rest. I think that
I
is good. I
agree.
agree with that. However,
I agree.
right?
But I also think that that leader could have showed a little bit of compassion there
I
at the
agree.
very start.
I agree.
So the first thing that as an employee for me, if I had a blood test that I needed to listen to, into, my doctor was going to call and I had a blood test,
Hmm.
I wouldn't come to you and say, Eve, is it okay if I'm a little bit late tomorrow? My doctor's going to call with a blood test. I would come to you and I would say, because at Dovico, this is totally acceptable. Um, Eve, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning. I will be late. I was supposed to be answering the phones, but I've got Felicia covering for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good response. Instead of asking, you're just like basically taking responsibility for the work that's on the plate and seeing if there's another way to. I think that's a good response from an employee point of view. It takes a lot of guts to do that, though. It takes a lot of like courage from the employee to be able to say, "Hey, I'm going to do this, no matter you like it or not. I'm taking off. I've worked. I have to do this. This is important.
But I've
Uh,
covered, but
I've covered the
I've
bases."
covered
Yeah.
the half hour that yeah.
I think it's perfectly fine. I would totally accept it. I think a lot of people would not. But so it takes a lot of courage for the employee to do that. And I think in one part of my career, I would have said, no, you're not going to do that because you're not asking for permission. I'm the boss. You should ask me for permission. It's this control that we want over employees. And we're forgetting that, the best work that you're ever going to get from employees from a healthy employee. I remember asking Richard Branson what was his, Richard Branson, he's the owner of Virgin Air.
Virgin, yeah,
For the
Virgin.
younger people, you may not know who Richard Branson is, but he's a billionaire. He's done a lot of great things, and I'm sure a lot of stupid things too, like we all do. But I had a chance to ask him, "What's your most valuable asset?" And he thought for it for a bit, and he said, "My health is the most valuable asset." And so, what as seniors or as like when you get older in life, you start to realize that you can pay now or pay later. So if you don't take care of your body, your mind, your mindset, your body set, your health set, like health set, right?
Yeah.
If you don't take care of your health set as a young person, well, you're going to pay later.
You definitely
Yeah.
will. So what that leader actually told Veronica, right? Hey, Veronica, sorry, you can't take the times,
Yeah.
and you can't take PTO because the rule is you have to put that in 2 weeks in advance. So there's really no option. What that leader actually said is, you're not important,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? Your well-being to me is not important. I don't care.
Yes. Yeah.
Come to work,
Right.
right?
Yeah. And then,
And that employee, so they set that up, right? That
yeah,
that leader now set that up for that employee to say, well, you know what? You don't care about me. I don't care about you. And it can happen that quickly.
but is there a possibility there that in certain jobs, for example, because you have to manage like there's the management of like, okay, there's work to be done, there's clients to be served, there's things to do,
Absolutely. We
right?
have to take care of
You have to
things.
balance those two
We
things.
do.
So it's a matter of finding a way, right? Finding a way. Maybe the employee can say, can we find a way? This is important to me. Or maybe the boss can say, okay, this is important to me too. I want you to be healthy. Can we find a way? So there's like it's a give and take. Right now, the tit for tat that we heard for Veronica is like, okay, you mistreated me, so I'll mistreat you. I'm not going to give in to you, right?
That's the way of the world.
Oh, absolutely. That's the way we work. It's a straight line. I do this, you do that. I do this, you do that.
Yeah.
I give
Very transactional.
That's
So
what we are.
that leader could have said, very first and foremost, right? Of course, you take that call from the doctor. But even more importantly, that leader could have leaned in and said, I hope you're well.
It could have.
You matter
Yeah.
to me, and
Yeah.
I want to make sure that you are well. So, wellness here at Dovico is number one, first and foremost. Even I started that years and years ago. And at first, people thought, uh, wellness. We kept talking about wellness. It was about they wanted, Eve did yoga, a lot of yoga. I did a lot of weightlifting, and they believed that we expected them to get up at 5 a.m.
Do
and
yoga.
do yoga or weightlifting,
Mm.
right? And in actuality, it doesn't really matter what you do, but we definitely want you to take care of yourself.
Yeah, at the beginning, I wanted you to do yoga.
Yeah,
Well,
I
actually,
did
at the
it.
beginning, like I was full of
I
myself. There's no doubt about it. So,
I
and
did it. I
sometimes,
tried.
yeah, and sometimes I'm full of myself today. So, it's like, check yourself in once in a while. But so,
Well, check your importance at the door,
well,
right?
that's the
So,
thing, right? If the boss is the employee saying this is important to me, and the boss like, okay, so to me, the two most important qualities of a leader are this. One is to see that you're here or not here. That's the first important thing. And if you can actually see that you're stuck, so that boss in particular is like stuck in their own minds. They're
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
there's no way I can do it without you because I have an important task to do. This is life threatening. This is like so important. It's like the missile crisis thing. Like check yourself in that. Is that important? Can we do without you for half an hour, an hour? Can we facilitate you? Can I, maybe help you get there faster so you can get here faster? Can I drive you? Can I, like, there's so many different options, but you're stuck in your mind of the only option is no,
Well, the
then
only options is to follow the rules and
if
regulations.
the only
No
option, right?
exceptions.
What happened there is there's only one outcome is you're in reaction. The person is going to react, and they're going to react somewhat like Veronica, or worse, they're going to not say no to you, not even tell you that they don't like you anymore, and there won't be any innovation, any creativity, any movement for your business at
Yeah.
all.
You've just created a quiet quitter. You
Absolutely.
don't care about them. They're not going to care about you or the company that you run.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the second most important thing from a leader point of view is to understand why, if you're here or not here, are you in your thoughts thinking about yourself,
Hmm.
or are you actually listening to the opportunity? There's always, I always say, there's never lose a crisis, right? Never lose an opportunity. There's always an opportunity
Yeah.
to do something,
Take advantage of the
right?
difficult.
Right, as a leader. And the other thing is to see if the person next to you is here or not
I'm
here.
presenting
So,
this to Maria to show her that you're alive.
oh,
Oh,
oh, she
thanks,
popped.
Estelle. We needed
We
that.
needed that
Wake us
jolt
up.
of like, I don't need when Estelle or Felicia is around, I don't need coffee. I get scared out of my wits. I think I peed a little there.
Excuse us just for a moment.
Oh, man, was I interrupting you? Was I? Maybe I was like, maybe it's a message. Maybe I'm talking too much. See, I'm in my head. Okay, so,
Yes, stop that.
um, what was I saying? I don't know. Anyway, I think both of those, like Veronica, when she asked for time off, perfectly fine. She must have been very nervous. Like, so being here as a leader is saying, okay, it takes so much courage for a person to say, hey, I need off, or can I have off? It takes even more courage for the person to say, no, I'm going to the doctor's office. I've checked with, I
Yeah,
did all the work,
yeah,
and to confront the superior. There is so much angst. You can probably feel in your body, right? She didn't probably sleep at all. And if you don't, if the leader is not here, and can't bring the person here by saying, "Yeah, I got your back. Don't worry about it." Right?
yeah.
That's
Then
the
there's something
opportunity.
wrong with your
Imagine
company. If
that.
you can't say that, if you can't just do that,
There's something
when
wrong.
somebody comes to you
Mhm.
to say, oh, blood test went bad, or I've got an appointment, there is something wrong with your company, and
Absolutely.
you need to start again. Because the thing is here at Dovaco, nobody asks anymore. Used
I,
to be a thing, right, to
yeah,
ask. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I would have went to the doctor's appointment,
yeah,
even
but
if
Shelley, you're different. You're like you're a CEO. Like you've got
no, even before I was CEO, I would have went to the doctor's appointment. I would have went to the doctor's appointment. Absolutely.
actually like the younger generation. Like my grandson, he's like 18. He goes to the doctor's appointment. He actually something similar happened to him. He
Hmm.
went to the doctor's appointment. He had a problem, and later on, the guy came back. His supervisor says,
Mm.
like, we don't like your attitude at work. You're coming late a lot. And he says, well, I was sick. So he didn't make a big thing out of it. He just said I was sick. Like I'm there every day. He
Yep.
didn't justify it. He just like it's and I can see that if he's approached again, like this guy is like that. Like these young people, they're like that.
Oh, for
He's just
sure.
gonna leave.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I've told you once, I'm not gonna tell you 15 times. So if you look at the chatter on social media, it's like, how do you keep your employees? How do you get your employees? Blah blah blah. Like, well, first start by caring. First start by being there. First start by listening, right? Listen, my point of view is 99% of employees are honest. 99% of employees want to work. They want to work for a place where they're respected, a place where they're valued, a place where they belong. 99% of them. But if you treat every single employee that you meet as thieves, they'll become thieves.
Yeah.
If you treat them badly, they'll become bad.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is saying, no, no, you're not allowed to do that because you're so bad, you're so low in the totem pole that you should be sick and come to work. And one of our worst companies in the region here in New Brunswick is our health regional offices, like our hospital.
As
They're
far
the
as
worst ones.
Yeah, as far as
Sick days.
HR and sick
Oh,
days and this type of
well,
thing,
HR, I don't know, but sick days for sure.
it definitely is. Well, huge HR departments, right?
They
Absolutely
have, yeah.
massive HR departments because they're trying to be super important in making sure that they point fingers at people and shame and blame them. See, the very first thing that you can do, you could
But it makes no sense. Like if you're a nurse and you're sick, you're bringing that sickness to the hospital. Stay home.
it absolutely makes no sense,
Yeah,
right? But there is somebody out there that is constantly watching sick leave, right? You
yeah.
would think that doctors and nurses would get sick quite a bit because they're around a lot of
It's the rules.
dis-ease.
Only take 1.25 days every month.
It
Uh, Do you
absolutely,
plan your sick? Do
absolutely.
you plan when you're sick? I don't plan when I'm sick.
Well, none of us plan when we're sick, but I can tell you what ends up happening and what's happened in each and every one of us is we are guilty. We are so guilty about being sick. We are so guilty about having to ask our boss to take to because the doctor is going to call. We're so guilty because we had to go run and something to our kid at school and we're 10 minutes late after lunch. We're so guilty. We have this business world and we
Mhm.
have this home world, or we've created this church and state, and there's a huge division between the two, when in actuality we have one lifestyle. We
Mhm.
have one life that we are living here, and we have sick times. Sometimes we're
Yeah,
going to be sick.
yeah.
If the pandemic taught us one thing is when you're sick, don't bring your sickness to other people,
No.
right?
It's like,
But our guilt about, oh my God, I'm going to let this one down, that one down. The boss is going to yell at me. You're creating an environment that people aren't trusted, that people are honing in on their guilt. What if you could create an environment? So here at Dovaco, there's always a partner. You always have a partner. Even I never usually know if somebody's sick, to tell you the honest truth, or if somebody else is answering the telephone because so and so is sick. The job is getting done, period. The job is getting done here at Dovaco. We trust everybody, and we have zero HR, and we have zero, um, concern about somebody taking too many Fridays off. Like that is not our focus. How many companies are focused on who took that time off, who's taking the most sick, like this company that your grandson is working for, absolutely ridiculous. There are so many things that we can actually be focused on as leaders and taking care of, as opposed to rules and regulations and people's sick time. Is the work not getting done? Then it's a different story.
yeah, you may have a small team,
Yeah.
like a one, like if you have a 3 man or a 5 man or a 10 man team or a women team, um, and one person may be, a disastrous person, so you may have to work when you're a little ill. I get that, right? I get the fact that sometimes you have to get up and work. I get that, but also there's a give and take. Like it's a balancing act of taking care of yourself and getting time off and resting and being supportive. Like there's so many things you could do as a leader when the person is sick. Maybe you can't afford to take the time off, but going to the doctor for sure, it's an hour. I can't see that, or for any reason. Like if you're really sick, then stay home. And if you have to come to work, well, what can we do to support you? There's so many different
Mm,
options instead of just looking at the rules. No, you've had your 1.21 to 2 days off this
yeah.
week, so
Yeah.
that's managing by. If you're going to manage by that, you're managing by exception. But that means that you're treating everybody in the same
Yeah.
pool. And what happens when you put everybody in the same pool by managing by exception, you say, I'm going to make a rule so that everybody follows this. This is managing by exception. You diminish the value of everybody,
Yeah.
right? So if you start managing the exception, because you're going to have 1% of the people that are going to take advantage, and we've had those. Some people take advantage. I've got those, right? And we've got those. We've had experience with those, Shelley and I. We've had that.
I completely, though, I do not frame it like that anymore in my
How do
head.
you frame it?
I do not say somebody is taking advantage
Hmm.
of me.
They're taking
right?
advantage of themselves, maybe.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, they are.
There's some kind of an issue. They don't
Yeah,
first
yeah,
I
yeah.
go to, oh, they don't like what they're doing, right? If somebody is constantly sick or somebody's, not liking the project kind of thing, I mean, the writing's on the wall. You don't have to manage the, hey, you're sick a lot. It's you have to manage the, man, is this project like not vibing with you? See, the thing
Right.
is, yeah, we
Right.
have to
Yeah.
reframe it differently.
People
Like it's
don't
not
show up
about,
for work. Not if it becomes a chronic problem. Sorry, I cut you off there. If you
no, no,
become,
no, you're right.
yeah,
You're,
if it
yeah.
becomes a chronic problem, okay, then manage that exception. Say, okay, let's have a chat. Let's have a chat and say, okay, what's wrong? Can I place you somewhere else? Can I give you another task? Or maybe it's time for you to find another job because you're not happy here. You're constantly like missing work, right? Yeah, but
Yeah,
have a chat instead of
absolutely.
saying,
Have a chat.
love that.
It's not about, see, before we used to always frame it if that person's taking advantage,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
That person is kind of just always just wants sick days. It's kind of like somebody with a messy house, Eve. You go into their house and it's always messy,
yeah.
right? And they'll say to you, "Oh God, sorry, excuse the mess." Oh my God, but that's been like that for 20 years. Do you know what I mean? You have to eventually say,
Welcome to my house.
what's wrong? Like what's wrong?
What's
Like
wrong with me?
what the hell's wrong with you?
But
There's something bigger there. So we frame it as leaders, we frame it that people are stealing our time. People are,
it's true.
he's just a lazy, you
Oh, I
know,
just got what you're saying. Like, look for the, not for the, not, don't react
to the
to the
thing.
thing. Look for the cause, the underlying thought cause. Yeah.
What's the underlying
I love that.
cause?
Yeah.
What do we want from
Yeah.
people? We want what at Dovico, what do we want from people? We want everybody to be happy. We want everybody to actually find what they like to do. See, the thing is you may have gone to school for a really long time to be a programmer,
Yeah.
but you may be programming and we notice that you're like, oh, just half-assing it and you're just really not liking it. Eventually you have to kind of go, man,
Hmm.
programming your jam. And always, what do they say to me? Always, well, Shelley, that's what I took in school, and and I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, but I just noticed that you're really not,
Happy there.
well,
Yeah.
the thing is there's no engagement, right?
True.
Always
Yeah.
the silent person in the meeting,
Hmm.
always the guy that has the camera off, right? Never actually gives his 2 cents in, and always the person who is just barely covering his work, right? Just getting it in. And we're not looking for that, right? And when Eve says it's time to get a new job, we don't
Hmm.
mean that nastily.
No.
Well, actually, we mean that in the kindest sense, because the thing is if we see that you're not happy, we want you to go to your next job and we want you to be super happy.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let's say you're an employee,
Yeah.
a younger version. I know you're very young. Yeah. But let's say you're a younger version of
Okay.
you, right? So
Okay.
you said you've always been like
Very
this. I
good.
just want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And you're Veronica, and you go to your boss, say, "Hey, can I ask, I'm going to go to the doctor," or
Yep.
you say, "I'm going to the doctor,"
Yep.
and says, or the girl says, "No, like you're not doing that because you can't do that because of the
Yeah.
rules."
Yeah.
You go to the doctor anyway, and he
Yeah.
still has a pissy attitude towards
Yeah.
you. What will you do eventually? What would you have done? Would you stay? Would you go there? Would you fight? What would you do as an employee?
Um,
What have you done? Maybe that's a better question.
yeah, so that happened to me actually.
Ooh.
My old mentor, absolutely love him, Claude. He's passed now. Um, I had a house, a little house on Purdy Avenue, and it had no basement, and my waters kept freezing, and I
Hmm.
had to put some coil around my
Oh yeah, we do that in Canada.
this. Yeah, so I had to put
Different
some.
Florida
Well,
have to do
I was
that.
poor. This first house that I bought was $27,000 on Purdy
Oh
Avenue,
my
one
God.
bedroom. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Can't
yeah.
even buy
I
it.
was 19 years old when I
But
bought my first house,
can't
like
buy a
barely.
bed for that.
Yeah, I didn't eat meat for like a year. Really young, right? Anyway, so the water kept freezing. So Leonard says, we got to get underneath there, kind of thing. I say, Claude, I'm taking the day off. I got to go. Gave him a certain date. I got to go and get it done. Not only did he show up at my house, he yelled at my husband.
Oh, he showed up to yell. I thought he was showing up to help. No, you got to be shitting me.
Yeah,
He showed up
how
to.
dare,
Oh my
how
God.
dare you put her underneath there with you to do this? Kind of a manner you. That
Oh.
happened. Yeah, that kind of happened. And I got out. I scrambled out from underneath that house pretty damn quick because um
Is he? It's like he's not alive anymore. Is that why?
no, he knew though right then and there. It wasn't my husband that was forcing me. I do
Mm,
that. I do that. I am that type of person. I need to know everything about my house,
yeah.
right? Crawling underneath a house doesn't
But what happened to your relationship with Claude? Claude, is it?
it yeah,
Claude.
what happened to my relationship
You
is that
obviously have a good,
it
fond memory.
absolutely absolutely changed. Not only did he within the next week he saw that I was who I wasn't faking who I was. He actually gave me $20,000
Okay, so
the
that's
next
something.
week
So,
to fix my car, fix my house.
so like to buy a new one, you got to buy a new one.
Right. Well, yeah, I didn't put the whole 20 grand, but he did. He gave me a $20,000
Wow.
check.
Okay, so that's one thing you could do if you're faced with a boss that's being kind of a dill pickle,
Hmm.
right? You can just stand up to him. That's not who I am. Just say that, right? You can also like leave. You can also like go to the doctor. And if eventually the boss doesn't get it, because not all dill pickles will listen. Some of them are closed jars.
Yeah.
They're so up in the jar
But
that
leave there.
they leave
That
it.
place is not going to serve
Yeah.
you well. See, I would have left there. He talking to
Yeah.
my husband that way, I would have
Yeah.
absolutely left there.
If you wouldn't have done something like,
If he hadn't have
sorry.
said,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, Shell," I
Mm.
had no in his mind, he had played a whole role in his mind of my
Yeah.
husband's making me crawl under the cottage or something, right?
Love that.
Right.
Yeah. So
Because
you,
maybe his wife wouldn't have.
so I guess the message, like, what do you do if you're Veronica? You're stuck in this place that are going by the rules. Eventually, you're gonna be sick there because you can't go see the doctor. You can't take care of yourself. I would suggest that invest in your health is the best thing you can
Wellness,
do.
wellness,
Wellness number one.
wellness. Take care
Yeah,
of your well-being. Go to the
number one. Number
doctor,
one.
find
Mhm,
another job.
mhm.
If that
Yeah,
leader doesn't actually see your worth,
yeah.
it's time to stop working for the dill pickle,
To-
right? You
We had
do
that on the wall at one point in time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you do not need to have that in your life. We have
True.
it's a very finite little
Mhm.
bit that we are on this world, this earth.
So, so that's good,
Yeah.
right? When you see somebody acting like a dick pickle,
Yeah.
you can leave.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
Find
so
yourself a communication coach.
true.
It's one thing
Yeah.
that Eve
Oh,
and I
yeah.
talked about
Mm.
deeply yesterday
Mm.
that you need somebody to talk to. We
Yeah.
all need somebody who we can trust, we
Right.
can love, we can share our demise with.
That's true because what we were talking about yesterday is the importance of choosing and making a choice of leaving. And
Yeah.
leaving a job is hard. It's hard. It's like gut wrenching sometimes.
Yeah.
Or actually staying is also the same thing.
Yeah.
So getting yourself, I call them a mindset coach. Shelley says it's a communication coach. Like we have all sorts of coaches in our lives, like, muscle coaches, whatever, help, like
Yeah, we
food
do.
coaches. Get yourself a coach that's going to help you set your mindset right
Absolutely.
by having a way to
Yeah.
communicate with people. I love that.
Like, what did they say to the guy in the chariot? Remember, we talked about it
Oh yes, the
yesterday. Just,
Caesar.
yeah.
It's a Caesar story. So the Caesar story is like every time Caesar or one of the conquerors would come back to Rome, this is 2,000 years ago, right? He would stand next to the conquering Caesar, and when they rode into Rome for the celebration, he would just say, you're not that good. You're not that good. You're not that good." And
Just a
a
reminder.
reminder. So I would say the same thing for leaders. Like
You're not that important.
get yourself a coach.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with these things, get yourself a coach.
Hmm.
Because in the reaction, we're not hearing and seeing the reality of the world. You're not
Yeah.
here. So get yourself a coach would be the first thing. So
Absolutely.
here's a question I have for you now.
Okay.
It's like because we are running
Yeah,
out of
we're
time,
out
I
of
do
time.
want to ask this question
Okay.
though. This is the most important question. As Dovako, what do we do to honor people asking for sick leave? What do we do for help? What do we do?
We ask them to be the leader in their own life and we ask them to take care of themselves. Do not come to me to ask me if you can go to a doctor. Do not send me your doctor's note. First of all, I'm going to trust you.
Well, first of all, the doctor's nose is a complete fallacy. The doctor will always give you a note. Actually, the doctor will give you a note for longer than you're asked. If you're
Yeah.
asking for 2 weeks, he'll give you a month.
He gave me a month.
Right?
Yeah.
So like if you think that asking for the employees to go get a doctor's note is going to save you time. No, it's the other way around. Stop that.
Every doctor's
Right?
already calling you a dill pickle to
Right.
your employee as he's writing that thing. And yeah, they're going to get extra time. Stop doing that. They're
So what?
absolutely
Yeah.
no note. You
So
know,
no note. Adobe code, no notes.
no note. And you are in charge
You're
of
responsible.
yeah, you are responsible. Yar, you are responsible. And you're responsible. Yeah, if you're supposed to be answering the telephone that next morning and you have a doctor's, you call somebody else to say, "Hey man,
Yeah.
can you answer the telephone?" We always have partners here. There isn't anybody, I don't think, at Dovico who
No.
is on their own that can't reach out to one of us,
True.
including you and I,
True.
to say, "Hey man, you got
We'll
to
answer
answer
the phone. We'll do it.
whatever
Yeah.
you need us to do, we're here to
Yeah.
do." So we
It's
work
true.
together. We trust each other. If you have a doctor's if you have a doctor's appointment, go to the doctor's appointment.
Mm,
The first and foremost for Dovico is your well-being.
it's true.
Absolutely.
How
You're
far do we go in this?
well,
Like, do we
to
have,
the point where we put revenue aside.
wow. So do we have like a rule says you can't take 1.2 days?
We don't, we threw away everything. A couple of years ago, we threw away all sick leave. We threw away all vacation. I have no idea how much vacation you need.
Mm,
We want you to be a leader in your life and we want you to still get your job done. Don't take us wrong. You still have to get your job done. But bottom line, if you need that time, then you
mhm.
take that
Yeah.
time. Somebody with 4 kids is probably going to need a little more time than somebody without any, possibly. Maybe not. But we are not in judgment of the
Yeah.
time you take. We are not in judgment of your illness. We are not here to help to enforce the guilt that you already have over it. We're here to help you through the guilt.
So good.
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago when I was at Medivie Probity on the board of directors there that health is it's a complete holistic view. Yes, it's important to do exercise. You have to move. The body has to move. If not, it gets
Yeah, you
sick.
got to eat good.
You had to eat good. And you also have to have a right mindset. In other words, you have to take care of your mind because your
Yeah.
mind creates the disease inside of you.
Yeah.
And so we went so far at Dovaco. We are so far down that road that we're saying, let's get these Oura rings to everybody. So everybody at Dovaco can get an Oura ring. It's not mandatory, but you can get one.
Yeah.
And I actually went to the wellness exchange today, and she says, "Oh, you're getting you have an Oura ring. I'm
Yeah.
getting one for Christmas."
People
The
get
young
excited
lady was
about it.
so excited,
So
and I
excited.
said, "You should be."
Yeah.
And what we use it for at Dovaco is because we have a little circle. If you want to, it's not mandatory because we're so focused on your wellness. So wellness includes exercise, foods, and mindset. This Oura ring gives you, if you're ready for work, if you're ready for your life, it gives you a score that says, hey, your resilience score is here. In other words, you're ready. If it's like 70 or more, you're ready for a good day. If you get to 90, like this girl over here, like she gets to 90, like almost 95, that are like, oh, she is ready to take on the world, right? But if you're at 60, because sometimes I'm at 60, sometimes you've been there too, it's ready to just relax, take a nips on belt, go to Yusva, do something about yourself
Yes.
because you make less mistakes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Warren Buffett said it the best for me. It's a business and a personal life. It's not what you make out of life, it's what you keep. And when you lose, it's when you make a
Mm,
mistake, right?
love
And when you
that.
make a mistake is when you're tired, when you're sick, when you're like you can't anymore. This tells you before you're gonna get sick, hey,
Yeah.
slow down,
Yeah.
right? Hey, don't make any big decisions. So at Dovico, we actually meet, and if I see her score, we talk about scores. It's not mandatory. We voluntarily do that because I'll tell you something. When you're giving your health score to a person, you have to trust that person so much that they're not going to use it against you and say, "Hey, you're reacting today. Maybe it's because your ordering tells me you're." No, it's not like that. It's like, "Hey, maybe today I can do some of the tasks for you. Let me help you make these decisions for you. I've
Yeah.
got your back. Don't worry about it. Take a longer bath, take a
Yeah.
longer walk, go spend time together with your family,
Yeah.
be at ease."
Yeah.
And that, right, is how far we'll go.
That's it.
And the reason for that is simple, is because healthy people with healthy minds make healthy decisions, healthy choices,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And if you make healthy decisions and healthy choices, your job as a leader is easy
Yeah.
because people aren't making mistakes, right?
That's it.
Because there's trust there.
Yeah.
So that's how far we've been.
Yeah. That's
Right?
how far we've gone. And what's also a little bit of a Power Rangers. No.
change.
gives
Yeah.
us gives
Mm.
us our power. It really does, though. It allows us to see ourselves. Sometimes we don't necessarily wake up and see ourselves. We're all full of angst and piss and
Yes.
vinegar, and we
Yes.
go into the meeting and say terrible things because we are not here, we are not present, we haven't slept well, and it
Hmm.
gives us that peace of mind that we can say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything in this meeting, or you know what, I'm going to back out of this meeting, or yeah, we've discovered that we're not always at our best.
So,
Sometimes we're only at that 20% capacity, so we don't bring those dirty feet
and
into
it's okay.
the
It's
office.
just
Yeah.
okay to say, hey, listen, it's okay to say, we're not having the conversation about going to doctor. We're having a conversation. I'm at 20% capacity today.
Yeah.
Can I just listen today?
I'm just going to listen today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody say, yeah, sure, we get you, right?
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
we build like what we do at Dovico is we build team software. In other words, how do you make your team deliver on time, innovative, and in quality,
Yeah.
right? That's what we're focused on. Time is one component of it, but your health set is so important. Your mindset is so important because there's a
Yeah.
saying that goes in the brain that says like the cells that fire together, like wire together.
Wired together.
You get
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, if you have what I've noticed in teams, if you have a team that's built on trust, that you can show up sick, you can show up angry, you can show up in any mood you want, happy, and you're accepted as a human being,
Absolutely.
right? You're building trust, and nothing works faster than trust.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever been so innovative in our lives.
It's
I don't
true.
think we've ever been so productive in our lives.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever been so focused on, getting something different than we want, like as a
Yeah.
team, like
Yeah.
so, like our team is so cohesive. It's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
that's built on trust. And you can start when from saying, accepting the person that says, hey, I need some time off because I'm sick, not feeling well, I need to go to the doctor. You can start right there, right?
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
way that you can build trust and
Mm.
compassion is to make sure that you meet people where they're
They're
at.
at.
Don't worry about the
Mm.
rules. Don't worry about the transactional components of it. Look at them in the eye and tell them that you hope that they're well. And
Yeah.
please come back to me and let me know how you are.
Yeah.
Show them that you are caring about them. The thing is we're human beings, all of us human beings. Take away the titles. Take away the fact that you're in a building for business. Take away all of that and look at that human being in front of you and say, how can I help?
I want to finish. There's a couple of things. First of all, the second thing that we do at Dovico is we build software to do that. Like our show up software is built on having a mindset, a clear mindset, so you can show up and have your thoughts heard and feel part of the team as a leader, as an employee. That's what show up is.
And how does it facilitate
Mm,
clearing your
it does
mind?
that. Yeah, it does.
How does it facilitate clearing your mind?
Because when I can speak without being a self, in other words, even if I'm a leader, I speak anonymously inside this software, right?
That's
I
what it
can put
is.
my ideas in there. I can get it off my chest. And then I can see maybe my ideas has been said 15,000 times. And that's why nobody sees it as you
Responding to
because
it.
I've been saying the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it helps me actually be one of the team as a leader. And and I can move on. It helps meetings go faster because I've said what I need to say.
Yeah.
And we can actually, it's like community because people can say, hey, let's talk about this for today. Like
Yeah.
things are getting resolved faster than ever before
Yeah.
when you have
Yeah.
communication. So good.
People can
Communication
say
goes.
their truth.
Mm,
So important. Showup.io is
I-
where you can find us there, and there is a free version. So just get started today. You want to have a dynamic meeting and you want to hear people's truths. It's a way that you can share anonymously and tackle those things that are happening within people and the humans that surround you. So,
let's put a little plug in
okay.
for our friend Natalie,
Oh, oh my God, that's
right?
so good. So Natalie Davison, if
Mm,
you probably, everybody in Moncton knows Natalie Davison is putting on an event this Friday,
mhm.
November 22nd at the Wingate. The tickets end today. I think the ticket
Oh,
sales end
really? Oh, get
today.
your ticket. It's only
Um,
$5. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
She,
No,
and
it's
yeah.
going to be a dynamic event. She has some amazing speakers there. She is promising us quite a show, and it's all about growth. It's all about
Mm,
mindset. You may actually find your coach there. It might be Natalie. You never know. So yeah, I'm going.
I'm
Eve is
going.
going, and so you will find us there as well.
Yeah.
And
She's got some amazing speakers.
Natalie is a
Electric Social
dynamic,
right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing
Some of my
person.
best
So
friends are doing there. Their
absolutely.
voices coming down like world renowned Olympians.
Yes,
Yeah.
Heather Moyse
Mm.
is there. Yeah.
And Andy's going to be
Chris
talking to
Farias. Yeah,
Chris
Andy Moore is
Fries.
going to be. Yeah.
So
So
so excited.
yeah, really excited.
Yeah.
Jason Cyrus. She
Oh my
has some,
God, yeah.
yeah, she has some
Jason.
amazing speakers, and like I say, Eve and I are going to be there. So so
Come to see
come to
us.
see us. No, so
Follow with us.
join us on Friday because it is going to be a hoot. I'm going to Shama Jumbo right after that too.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Listen,
fun.
if you like this podcast,
Yeah,
throw a plug in for us. Share it, right? Comment on it, share it. Yeah.
we
Love that. I
would.
would love that. I would
Yeah,
appreciate
we
that.
would absolutely love that if you could do that for us as well. So this is Mindset Monday. I'm Shelley Butler.
I'm still Yves Doucet.
Love you. Get your work in. Oh, wait, just a second. Mwah. Love you. Get your workout in.